Alright guys, so today we're going to check out a very interesting product that I think is going to benefit a lot of people, even in ways that you may not think about. Now, the product we're going to check out is the brand new THX Onyx. Now, this is a DAC amp that is available as of today, but what makes this very interesting is the fact that this is the first piece of hardware that the company THX has released. A lot of you may be familiar with THX from seeing it on other devices as being THX certified, but it originally started from George Lucas, the one that's responsible for Star Wars, going to a movie theater and realizing like the audio just sucked during the movie. And we all know like if you have crappy audio in a movie, it's gonna just take away from the experience. So George Lucas came up with THX in a way to improve and boost the audio and make it a whole other element to go into the movies. Throughout the years, it's built up to this, huge company that certifies certain audio products, and so you just kind of feel like you're getting something premium when you see that logo. Well, the THX Onyx, which is the amp we're going to check out today, is the first piece of hardware that this company is releasing. So that in itself is exciting, although we do have to keep in mind when companies like Dolby released the Dolby Dimension headphones, that was a pair that was overpriced. It wasn't very impressive. So don't be completely fooled just because a company slaps their name on a product. But what makes this product exciting is it's a portable DAC amp that just simply is plug and play. And what makes it plug and play is it doesn't have any kind of drivers, it doesn't use any kind of software. Everything is built in the device itself, and it is using a USB-C connection, so pretty much any Android phone at this point. I was able to use it in my PC, my laptop, so this one little very portable device just plugged into everything. Now it does come with a USB adapter, so if you do have something that doesn't have a USB-C, you just simply use that adapter. Now if you're going to use this with an iOS device like an iPhone or an iPad, you do have to use their Lightning to USB camera adapter. That seems to be the only one that really works with this. But the one thing about that is that's going to be the one way you're not going to get mic support, because this amplifier even has mic support. So again, if you're going to use earbuds or anything that has a mic on it, or even a gaming headset, which again is an incredible way to use this, you can even use the microphone without having to have other adapters and things like that. Just know that you can't use it on an iPhone or an iPad. It just doesn't work. But it will work on a Mac, it works on PC, it works on Android. So this is a very universal device. But it's using a THX AAA amplifier. In fact, it's using the THX AAA 78. And this is the first mobile device that's using it. Now, it was in the Monolith amp that Monoprice released, but that was a $300 amp. And it's not nearly as portable as this is, because it was almost its own device separately. Now, as far as the DAC chip that they're using an ES9281 Pro. Now, this is not EQing your sound in any way. It's basically amplifying it in a way where you can just get a lot more volume. In fact, it's saying that it can get 5 times more than most amps that are out there. And they even have a warning when you first open the box that says, warning, high volume. It recommends just turning your device all the way down to around 10%. Because it automatically makes things so much more louder. Now, another thing that I noticed is it does open up the dynamic range in your audio. It's basically separating your lows, your mids, and your highs, where it doesn't sound compressed. It gives it a little bit more space. To me, it made things sound a little bit more open, which again is incredible for games. So if you're going to be using it for movies and gaming, it adds that whole other element. But the main reason I enjoy this is what it can do to master quality files. In fact, it's MQA certified, which is master quality authenticated. So using this device and using it with Tidal, listening to music, because Tidal is pretty much one of the only music apps that are using the master files from companies. Now, if you're going through different lists of songs or albums, you will see that it says master right next to it, which basically means it has the master original file. So nothing's compressed. You're listening to it basically like if you had FLAC files downloaded on your phone. But instead of having to download files and go through all of this other process of having like another portable player to store your files, being able to see all of those tracks on Tidal and to be able to get the most out of them by using this small little portable amp, I can't tell you enough like how much I've benefited from that. Now, another thing that I want to point out is you see these three little indicator lights. It's basically RGB lighting that will, one, let you know that it's actually on, but it also will let you know the type of quality you're listening to. So if you're listening to a master quality file from Tidal, it'll be a certain color. If you're listening to just standard audio, it will be another color. So you can kind of see if you're getting the most out of the amp from these three little RGB lights. Now, I've been using it with the Moondrop Illumination IEMs. Now, they do have a list of headphones that they recommend using with this amp. Now, some of these we've covered on the channel, like the Audio-Technica ATH M50s. They also recommended the M70s, the M70X, the Drop THX Pandas, the Odyssey LCD1s, the Sennheiser HD650s, and also the Massdrop HD6XX, and then a bunch of other ones. But the one pair that surprised me was on the list was the Razer Black Shark V2. Now, I thought at first, okay, this is because Razer owns THX. I don't really see how this pair is going to benefit from it. But it's surprising how incredible audio sounded even out of this gaming headset. I mean, this is a gaming headset that's under $100. So if you mix that with the amp that's $200, you have $300 into an incredible audio setup. And what it did with the Black Shark V2s was, one, just made gaming sound amazing, but even just listening to music. Again, because it's not trying to color the audio, and all it's doing is opening it up and giving you so much more volume than any device you're using is capable of. And another thing that it's doing, and one thing it's priding itself on, is the fact that it cuts out any kind of distortion, or at least cuts out as much as possible. Because if you're used to using amps, especially these smaller amps that plug into phones, you almost immediately hear the hiss in the audio. You notice that it's just amplifying everything or trying to turn the volume up so much that you hear this just noise that's constant. And then when you start to listen to things with bass, most amps are even trying to elevate bass, you're going to get distortion. There's just certain amps that's just not powerful enough. And the THX Onyx, I didn't have any distortion. It wasn't trying to boost my bass. Again, it just amplified everything and opened up things to a way where it's just more enjoyable to listen to music. This is just a really well-rounded device. I'm very impressed with this being their first piece of hardware. I think the only drawback is going to be if you're an iPhone or an iPad user, because I feel like you're not getting the most out of it because you can't use the microphones, but also because you then do have to buy another adapter to be able to get it to work. But that's more of an Apple thing than it is a THX thing. And when Apple tries to make you stay in their ecosystem and use their devices, it sometimes causes this, where it limits you or makes you have to spend more money to be able to use another device. And that's kind of the reason I stick with Android. Again, nothing against Apple, but it does make you spend more money. But guys, that kind of wraps up this video. Like I said, I didn't go deep into specs just because that's not my style. I think this device is going to be incredible for a lot of people. It's beneficial in a lot of ways. So I think THX has an incredible product here. I think for $200, it is definitely competing with other amps. There's a lot of smaller amps that just can't really do what this device can do. And in some cases, if you want devices that are capable of this kind of output, you're gonna have to spend more money and you're going to have larger devices. So very pleased with it. But guys, that's my video on the THX Onyx. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.